Hey y'all, take a quick second to show you my Baron Zombie Summoner for Path of Exile 2.6. So the premise behind this build is to get a bunch of strength, a bunch of zombies, poison, and just truck through content. So I'll show you a shaped mud geyser for a little bit of gameplay, then come back and talk about the mechanics and how I built the character. Alright, I'm just going to go ahead and clear that much for now. Yeah, you can see the build's alright. For a summoner, it has pretty decent clear speed, which surprised me. This is the first summoner I've made. But let's go ahead and go over the build. So, first off, we got the passive skill tree. Your goals are pretty simple here. As much strength as possible in order to abuse this unique helm. And minion damage and life and things like that, right? So, start as a witch because Necromancer is just the best Ascendancy for this. Go up, get zombies, get minion damage. I was originally going to run the bubble specters, but it didn't really work out. And then this jewel socket's really important because it allows you to run a violent dead jewel. These jewels allow for your zombies to use their slam much more often, which removes the need for melee splash, and you can run 2 of them. So I want one of those jewels here, and the second jewel here. So those 2 jewel sockets are really important because they're the only 2 that give you just the right amount of intelligence, because the other ones, these 2, give you a lot of intelligence, but you want to use efficient training to transform that to strength. So we come over here. The way I path was I come up, get the additional zombie, rush over to Templar to get the life, and to get these minion nodes, rush down, more minion damage. The skill duration is really important for our offerings and for our Val haste. And then once you've filled out everything up here, we come all the way down, and these are all strength nodes, so I mean they're all really valuable, and get unwavering stance, which is just a huge quality of life. You can see we have 5.1k life. With better gear and more levels, because I'm currently missing this node here, you can maybe get 5.6k life, which means you're going to get stunned pretty often if you take a big hit, so unwavering stance is a huge help. And it's not really wasted points because it's all strength. And then once you have all that, the last thing that I got was rush over here and get Necromantic Aegis. Now, this node's actually insane for zombies. The reason being is because of the new Lycoside shield. So with the Lycoside, or the Lycoside, or however the hell you say that, your hits can't be evaded, which means your zombies' hits can't be evaded. And because zombies have extremely low accuracy rating, it will literally like double your DPS output, having their hits not be evaded. It also gives them a lot of block. And I have transitioned to using Bone Offering full time, which means my zombies are pretty much max block. Let's go over the Ascendancy. So, Necromancer is the obvious choice. The order that I went, I think the first one I got was Commander of Darkness. Just for the last one, you and your allies have 20% elemental resistance. It just makes getting resist so much easier. You can see I run Purity of Elements along with Commander of Darkness, gives you a ton of all res, makes gearing way, way easier. And because we're poison based, we don't need to run Hatred or any other elemental damage scaling. The next thing I got was Mistress of Sacrifice, so that I could use Sacrifice the Flesh Offering for the move speed, which just makes leveling a lot faster. And then go ahead and pick up Flesh Binder. You end up with like 12 zombies, which is like 12% physical mitigation, plus I also run a Chaos Golem, which means that the build just has like a flat 16% physical mitigation at all times. And then lastly, just go ahead and pick up Spirit Eater. It's mostly just minion damage, which is always good. Alright, that's it for that. Let's go ahead and look at the gearing now. So for gear, you just want a 6-link chest. Pretty much anything will do, as long as it's energy shield and armor. And then you're going to want to get strength on that. It's really important. You can see this one has strength and also has +1 to max number of zombies, which is a Katarina craft. It doesn't have life though, which is why my life pool is pretty low. Rings, just get basic rare rings with strength, life, and resists. Astra Menace, huge help to the build, not only for getting strength, but also for getting dexterity, which is important for Valhaste. The Baron obviously is the center of the helm, right? So it makes all of our strength apply to our minions, which means that we get 200% increased physical damage for our minions, we get 3 additional maximum zombies, and our zombies also leech to us, which makes just way, way tankier. Right now I'm using Severed in Sleep, because I can't afford the United in Dream, because it's like 3 exalts. But Severed in Sleep works just as well. In fact, it's actually better for certain map mods like Physical Reflect, because the 20% of life recovered on killing a poison enemy pretty much makes Physical Reflect a non-issue entirely. But once you save up enough money, I definitely would switch over to United in Dream, but overall it's not going to change your DPS, it would just make your mains a little bit more tanky, because now they leech 5%, so it means they don't have to have things die to recover their life. Lycoside Shield, already showed that. Alberon's Warpath's a pretty obvious choice due to the 18% increased strength, decent move speed. Rare Belt with strength, life resists, and then use Meganort's Vise just for the regen and the strength. And so as you can see, we're really unique heavy, right? So unique, 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 unique means we only have these 3 or 4 rares. So that's why I run Purity of Elements, because getting capped resist is super hard. Now for the skills. So the 2 auras I run Purity of Elements, and they're just like level 1 clarity because of the Ascendancy node here. Each additional aura just gives us cast and attack speed and damage, so might as well just run an additional aura. I'm probably going to add another aura in, I just haven't thought about what I want to add yet. And then I run, obviously, Raise Zombie. So the Raise Zombie links are Raise Zombie. You want to get 20% quality, that's really important because of the minion life and speed. Movement speed is super important for your minions. Minion damage, obviously, melee physical damage, multi-strike, minion speed, and then I also run minion elemental resistance, because even though my Purity of Elements gives my minions a lot of resists, because they changed the AoE, now it's really unreliable if they're off screening. So I just use this to make sure they always have those resists, and 20% quality is useful here too, because it's an extra 10% all res. When you're bossing, you can swap out minion speed with Conk Effect, which will double dip on the poison, and just give you just disgusting damage numbers. Next up, Convocation, that's a no-brainer, and then your offering skill. So I use Bone Offering now full-time, because it just makes you so tanky, and it makes your minions really tanky too, because when you have it up, your minions have around 70% block attacks and like 34 block spells, and each time they regen life. It doesn't say it on the tooltip, but they regen like 528 life when they block. But now, because of the Ascendancy, this also applies to you. So when I have that up, and I also use my Rumi's Concoction, I have 54 block for attack and 43 for spells. And then I also regen life when I block, so I'm like a baby Aegis character, and it makes your character way more tanky and helps make up for the fact that we're life-based. And then Ball Lightning is kind of the curse on hit slash, order your minions around skill, because if you're a summoner and you're not running something that attacks, your minions are not going to behave intelligently. You have to always tell them where to go. So this works, and I use Vulnerability because Vulnerability double dips, so it's just kind of the best curse for damage. Ball Haste, it's pretty obvious. It lasts for like 12 seconds, so it's up most of the time. I use Flame Dash for my movement skill. You can use Shield Charge if you want. I just like Flame Dash because the faster casting I also use to support my Convocation. And Convocation casting quickly is important when you're doing scary boss fights, like Dominus, things like that. Yeah, so that's pretty much all the skills. As far as like perks of the character, the clear speed's pretty good, tankiness is very good. It can run every map mod, which is probably my favorite part. Literally doesn't matter, most map mods are irrelevant. All curses only apply to you, they don't apply to your minions, so you don't really need to worry about Enfeeble or Vulnerability or LE Weakness or anything like that. As long as your character can handle it, it doesn't matter about your minions. Physical Reflect is a non-issue as long as you're using the Severed Sleep. Once in a while you have a minion die in Physical Reflect, but especially with Bone Offering it's pretty rare. Obviously LE Reflect doesn't matter. No regen is no problem whatsoever because your minions leech to you, and then you barely use any mana, and I have my Offering skill which uses 89 linked to Blood Magic, so I'm not going to run out that way either. And then second perk, I guess, is just the ridiculous DPS, because they haven't fixed double dipping, so minion damage still all double dips, so your minions just do so much poison damage. According to Path of Building, which is probably the best estimate I can get because there's no tooltip for my damage, it's around like 50k DPS per minion times 12 zombies, which is like 600,000 DPS, and that's not factoring in, like, I don't have a Wither Totem set up for the degen, and that's also not using Conk Effect. I don't even know what the DPS would be with Conk Effect, but it'd be pretty broken. As far as minion survivability, the minions almost never die. They died a little bit when I used the different offering, Flesh Offering for the move speed, which is why I switched to Bone Offering, but since I've switched to Bone Offering, they're pretty much invincible. Like, I've killed Abixoth and tier 12s, and Itsiri with Deathless, even though my minions were like tanking all of the Flame Blasts and stuff like that. You can see they have like, 9.5k life, and this is a level 19 gem, right? So I still have one more level to go. Still a bit of optimizing, but yeah, so far the build's just been a breeze. It's been freaking face rolling all of the content, probably one of my favorite builds that I've ever made. So definitely recommend you give it a shot. I'm going to link my character in the profile. If there's anything I didn't cover, you can see the skill tree, gear, things like that there. Let me know if you have any questions.